Okay, so just come back, find where you are, and I'll get back and share my screen. Okay, can you see everything okay there, Dave?
I can, yeah. Oh, wow.
Brilliant, good stuff. So I just thought I'd do a few just little examples. So whenever I do presentations, I like to set little scenes on the screen. So and I call them what I like to call them topic hubs. So rather than a presentation, just simply go from slide to slide. I like to. In fact, I'm going to do something different, so I can demonstrate this better. Is that okay? I won't be 2 seconds.
Go
So
for it.
I think I can demonstrate. I'll demonstrate this in a far better way for you. We'll do a little quiz if that's all right. How do you fancy taking part in a quiz?
Up and ready.
Good stuff. Okay, so okay, so yeah, as I was explaining, the kind of presentations I teach people to make are not, or what I call non-linear. So most people's PowerPoint presentations, if you've kind of just got the experience that most people have of using PowerPoint, is to go in a standard order through your presentation. So go from one slide to the next slide, and all the way through in one particular order. What I try and teach people to do and how to use and look at PowerPoint differently is to create non-linear presentations where actually you'll get to a slide where you get all of your topics on one slide, and then you can ask the audience which topics they want to cover first, and then you can cover them in any particular order. Now, this is particularly useful if you're going to do a little quiz or something like that, because then you can ask them to choose the topics or the questions or the categories that they'd like to choose, and it just adds a little bit more interactivity to the session rather than them having to simply listen to you talking all the way through the session. So what we've got here are the cast of The Greatest PowerPoint Showman. Now, they've been on the road with me, and more recently in my living room, since I've had to deliver a lot of this over Zoom recently.
Okay.
But they've been on the road with me for the past year and a half or so now. So these are our characters who feature in The Greatest PowerPoint Showman training. And yeah, there's a different quiz question behind each one of them for you to answer. So Dave, do you want to choose the first category? On the first question, you're going to choose one of our characters.
Oh, okay, I'll choose the elephant.
You're going to go with the elephant. There you go. So we'll click on the elephant, and this will take us to our first question. So, what is the name of the head elephant in the Jungle Book, in the Disney's Jungle Book?
Oh, that's taken me aback a little bit. Certainly not Colonel Sanders. I'm glad I'm not on the chase. I might have bummed out with the beast on my tail, but I'll go C.
You're going to go. So is that Colonel Hathey?
Yeah.
There we go. Let's take a look. Well done. That's a great guess. You got it absolutely bang on. Correct. Well done. So then with a presentation like this one, obviously once we've done on our question slide and we want to go back to where all the topics are, we have to have another button to make sure that we go back to the right place in the presentation. Otherwise, we'll only go to the next question, which is not how we want to do it. We want the audience to be able to choose what to do next. So we click on our elephant and we go back, and you can see the elephant's disappeared as well, because we don't want to ask that same question again. So it's a good way to eliminate categories from our category board or topics that we've already covered. What would you like to go for next, Dave?
I'll try the strongman.
You're going to go with the strongman, so let's click on the strongman. So I don't know how much you're into WWE, whether it was that when you was younger or whether maybe you still keep up to date with WWE nowadays. I'm not sure, but here's a question for you. Which WWE wrestler was once the world's strongest man? Was it Mark Henry, The Big Show, Andre the Giant, or John Cena?
Well, actually, I was a big wrestling fan back in the day, but I think it might have been something rings to me, Mark Henry.
Mark Henry. Okay, let's take a look. Well done. Congratulations. That's 2 out of 2. You're doing well. So yeah, Mark Henry was also once the world's strongest man. The other thing about this presentation is that in a presentation that's not been set up correctly for this sort of way, this sort of style, if I was to click in the background space here or use the arrow or spacebar keys on my keyboard, your presentation would again go to the wrong place in the presentation. So what you can actually do is set the presentation up so that you can only progress through it by clicking on the predetermined buttons, which obviously makes it a lot more user-friendly and makes it less easy to make mistakes when delivering this face-to-face as well. So obviously the key here is that you can send this out and people can view it themselves on their own machines, in a user-friendly way, or you could deliver it face-to-face. What are you going to go for next, Dave?
Can I go for the girl?
There you go. So, which of these Batman characters was formerly a trapeze artist? Was it Catwoman, the Riddler, Batwoman, or Robin?
Oh, I might get this one wrong. Don't come after me, DC nerds, right? Batwoman?
It's a good effort, but you've lost your 100%.
Oh, damn.
It's
Robin.
In one of the, I think it's 90s films, I think his
Yeah.
you see parents unfortunately suffer and die, and his family die and everything. That's how he ends up joining Batman. So we go back. Only two more to choose from, so we're going to go with.
Oh, go for the bear. Star of many Russian dash cam videos.
So how far can a polar bear swim? Up to 2 miles, up to 10 miles, up to 30 miles, up to 100 miles. So it's polar bear, this one, not actual bear.
They can go for like, I do believe it might be up to 100 miles because they do travel a long way.
Are we happy we're going with that then?
Yep.
There you go. Yeah, not many people get that one correct actually, but yeah, up to 100 miles. And then your last one is the Ringmaster. So who plays Ringmaster Max Medici in Disney's live-action remake of Dumbo, which is about now a yearish old, maybe just a little bit more than a year old?
Ooh, I haven't seen it, so it wasn't Hugh Jackman because I know he's in The Greatest Showman.
Yeah, and he's from your neck of the woods, isn't he, Hugh Jackman?
Yeah. He actually trained in Perth. He went to the West Australian Academy of Performing Arts, but he's also from Sydney. I might try. Can't see Danny DeVito, but no, I can't see De Niro. By process of elimination, I might try Joe Pesci.
Okay, let's have a look then. It is actually Danny DeVito. So yeah, you're right about Hugh Jackman. He was actually the Greatest Showman. But if anybody was going to play the Greatest PowerPoint Showman in an actual film, it would be Danny DeVito because unfortunately we're about the same height.
Okay.
But never mind. Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's just how you can kind of do a what we call a non-linear presentation and have a bit of a quiz board in your presentation. I don't know if you want me to finish with a magic trick.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, we'll do that then. I'll not be a second. Okay, so I thought we'd finish with the magic trick. So here we've got our magic scene then, and this is just an example of really how you can use triggers and hide things around the screen. So you could have something maybe set up such as an office environment if you wanted to do a presentation about, an induction to the new workplace, or you wanted to do some sort of presentation that talks about something that an environment that you usually work in or whatever. You could have little objects hidden around a sort of scene on screen that people could click on and interact with and so on. So this is a bit of a way that you might do things like that. So I'm going to click on the magic hat and we're going to reveal a card. It's the 10 of clubs. There you go. There's your 10 of clubs. So remember that card because we're going to make it vanish. It's gone. So my next question is, where is the 10 of clubs? Where has it gone? Of course, it came from the magic hat, so we're not going to put it back in there.
If this is my office, I'll freak out.
No, you know what? I thought that's a really good trick to actually try to have done, but yeah. No, we're sticking with the power. Yeah. I should have one in my hat or something.
Yeah, that's. Oh wait, what's this? That. Oh. Ooh. Okay, I'll say. Might be behind the curtain.
Go behind the curtain. not behind the curtain, unfortunately. So sorry, I just stepped too forward too much there. But if we click on the magic star, you'll find it behind the star. There you go.
Yeah.
And then the next few characters, these are like, I don't know if you know of Ant and Dec.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you will do. Of course you will, because they visit there once a year, don't they? So this is like our version of Ant and Dec. It's Bobo and Rolo. And how we might use Bobo and Rolo then, for example, if you're running a little competition with your group of trainees or with the sales people that you're presenting your sales presentation to, whatever it might be, you could have something like a couple of cars on screen, and each team, every time they get a question right, you could move their car along the track slightly. Or if it's a board game on screen, you could move their counter around the board. And this is how you'd sort of do it, really. This is an example of that. So if every time I click on Bobo or Rolo, in any particular order I want to, they will move around the screen to predetermined places. So again, this could be a racetrack, it could be anything, but that's sort of how you do it. And it's using triggers and motion paths animation to create something like that. And then you've got scoreboards. So like I said, don't just use PowerPoint as an information giving tool, use it as a resource to kind of bring a bit of life to your session. So here we've got a scoreboard. So you can click these in any order and add scores to a team's scoreboard, just like that. And it just, again, adds a little bit more competition and gamification into a session that you might be running. And then here's our Wheel of Fortune, and this is going to reveal what our headline act of the day is going to be. Okay, so let's spin the Wheel of Fortune. And again, this is just a way to add a bit more intrigue to your session. So rather than just going through your topics in any order, maybe just add this in between your slides to kind of make your audience think, oh, what's coming next, and add that little bit more fun to it. So let's spin the Wheel of Fortune and see what we're going to be doing next. Admittedly, I'm guessing some of the animations might be a bit more jittery on your screen because obviously we're doing this over Zoom, but hopefully you kind of get the idea.
Yeah.
But when you're doing this in person, it's the animations are completely smooth. But I think over Zoom, I don't know if it depends what depends what it's like, but sometimes it might be a bit more jittery. So we've landed on the Great Mysterio here. So he's our final act, and what we're going to do is we need to click on these orbs to make them disappear. But of course, we don't want to make it too easy. So let's get the orbs floating around the screen at the same time, shall we? And again, this can be converted into a presentation that can be embedded on your website. So anyone on any platform or device could access this on your website and then interact with it and click on the orbs and make different things appear or just make them disappear. So as we click on each one, which can be tough, there you go.
Yeah.
Caught them all. There you go. So that's a little bit of an introduction, really, to kind of some of the things that you can do with PowerPoint, just to create a little bit more fun and enjoyment with it, and to bring your sessions to life. And actually, a lot of the people that I've done the training for recently, as well as obviously they're doing it for work purposes and for upskilling their own PowerPoint skills, they've all often said, you know what, I'm using this in my pub Zoom quizzes that we're doing during the lockdown.
Nice.
So yeah, it's been helpful for that purpose as well, I suppose.
Yeah, I just completely blew my mind. That was just out of this world. That's just off the scale, mate. That's just, oh.
I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah.
Oh,
if
man.
If anyone wants to see more about it, if you go to powerpointshowman.co.uk, there's a website there you can take a look at, and there's a few examples, and I also put a few hints and tips on there, just things videos people can watch if they want to learn how to do anything. And then obviously, I'm available for additional training if anyone wants anything like that as well.
Yeah, well, your website will be in my show notes, and that'll be fantastic.
Yeah.
Hi guys, it's Dave from Time Outs Media Lab. If you like what you see, like and subscribe down below, and make sure you support me on Patreon. This is the Cat, the 12 Hats, signing out.